As we work our way around the AutoCAD interface, let's take a minute and look at our toolbars. Now, if we look at our screen, we can see I've got a drawing on my drafting board already. This is an example of the type of work that we'll be doing in the near future. So at this point, we're going to configure our toolbars so that they're in the optimal position for us to be drafting. Now, over on the left-hand side of the screen, I have an example of a toolbar. Now, a toolbar is nothing more than a collection of AutoCAD icons. Each one of these icons represents a specific AutoCAD command. And I want you to notice that if I move my cursor over one of these icons, AutoCAD will pop up a tooltip and tell me what specific command that icon is going to launch. In addition to that tooltip, take a look at the lower left-hand corner of our screen. As I move over and hover on top of this icon, I can see some additional information that can be very helpful, especially for a beginner. Now, these toolbars do not have to stay put. I can move these wherever I like in my interface. I'm going to click and hold on this little toolbar handle, and I'm going to drag this guy into my drafting area and release. I've just converted that toolbar from a docked to a floating state. Now notice when the toolbar is in a floating state, I can see the name of the toolbar as well as a little X that I can use to turn this toolbar off. Let's try that. I'm going to come up and click on the X and turn off my draw toolbar. Now that we've turned the toolbar off, let's look at how we can turn toolbars on. If I'd like to turn a toolbar on, I can move my cursor and hover over an existing tool and right-click. And when I do, I see a listing of all of the toolbars that are available in AutoCAD. Now, some of these have checks next to them, and the check signifies that that toolbar is already visible on our screen. Now, we just turned off the Draw toolbar. Let's turn him back on again. I'm going to click on the Draw name, and that toolbar pops back up right where we left him. Now, this is a very important toolbar. This is the toolbar that we're going to use to create our geometry, so I want to keep this guy on my interface. I'm going to dock him to the left side of the screen. So I'm going to place my cursor on the blue area, and I'm going to click and hold. And as I drag this guy away, notice I'm dragging a little ghosted version with me. When I get my cursor close enough to the edge of the screen, we can see the shape change. That means the toolbar is ready to be docked. All I have to do is release my mouse button. That guy's now in a docked state. Now we have another toolbar that we're going to use frequently. Right now that guy's located on the right side of the screen. This is our Modify toolbar. Now since this guy is so important, I'm going to move him over so that he can sit alongside the Draw toolbar, just because it'll be easier to work, not having to go back and forth and span the entire width of my monitor to select my tools. So let's pull this guy away. I'm going to click and hold on the handle, drag him away, and I'm going to drag him to the left side of the screen. And as soon as I get close enough, the shape changes and I can release and dock that toolbar. Now, if I wanted to be tidy, I can click and hold on the little handle and I can shift these guys up or down to fill up the columns. I've got one more change I want to make to my interface that has to do with this little toolbar right down here. I'm not going to be using him right now, and he's only got 4 icons and he's eating up an entire column of real estate. So let's turn him off. I'm going to click on the handle and drag him away, and watch when I release my mouse button, that column disappears. I now have a little bit more space that I can draft. And since this toolbar is not going to be used, I'm going to click on the X to turn him off. Toolbars give us the ability to customize our interface to our needs, and they give us convenient access to the commands we use most.